today's video, we're going to speak quickly on progressive overload. This will be more of a summary video, just so people can understand what it is and why it's important to speak about. Progressive overload is the principle of gradually increasing stress placed on the body during training, so it continues to adapt, get stronger, and build muscle. In simple terms, if the challenge doesn't increase over time, progress tends to stall. Some examples of progressive overload is to increase the load, increase the sets, increase the reps, increase the frequency. Now, all these have a time and place, of course, and depending on what you're trying to achieve, you might have to focus on one aspect more than the others, in which case I would most likely reach out and ask questions to other professionals, because if you're kind of left in the dark as to what you should do for your progressive overload, this will unfortunately cause you to lose progress, or at least not make the progress as fast as you'd like it to be. So why does progressive overload matter? Obviously, like I said before, we need to consistently increase stress over time to make your goals achievable. Now, our muscles, our tendons, our bones, our nervous system, all these things can adapt pretty quickly to a lot of stimulus. And if we're not consistently trying to up that stimulus and give it more of a challenge, it's going to cease to create a productive stimulus outcome. So what I mean by that is our body's just going to adapt to a point where it's just going to do the exercises that you have been doing in the rep set scheme, weight scheme that you've been doing in the past, and it's just going to understand how to handle it. You're not going to get as good of a sweat going on. You're not going to get as good of like a cardiovascular fatigue or nervous system fatigue that you've experienced in the past. And you might think that this means that you're getting more fit, which to a degree, yes, you definitely are, but you're also just losing progress to allow your body to adapt to a new stimulus, or at least a slightly increased stimulus of the version you've done in the past. So a key takeaway I would say from this video is that progressive overload, although you do want to increase the stimulus, it doesn't need to be you completely destroying your body every single training session. We're thinking more along the lines of slight increases of the stimulus that you're trying to achieve in your fitness goals. So like one of the examples with the increased load, I'm not going from a 100-pound squat to a 150-pound squat the next training session. I'm going from a 100-pound squat to maybe 105, 110, depending on how I'm feeling on that day. If we're completely just blasting our body every single training session, sure, we might make some quick progress at the start, but our recovery time is going to make it a lot harder to bounce back, and then we're not going to be able to make the progress that we want to, and potentially even have some sort of negative thought process towards training again, which could lead you to stopping altogether. Another thing to add on to that is we want to always focus on doing our repetitions with great technique. If we are overloading to the point in which our technique is failing, to where we are almost putting ourselves into a dangerous position, this will mean that progressive overload will end up causing injury rather than causing muscle growth, cardiovascular growth, any kind of health benefit that we wanted to achieve with the progressive overload. So again, making sure that we're doing small incremental changes, allowing ourselves to do it with great technique, and then allowing it for us to not have longer recovery time periods in between sessions. All right, if you've watched for this long, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.